Okay, hi everyone, Giga here, and so I decided to make this video as I promised yesterday in regards to an interesting topic. Um, I think the topic was called using statistics in EM. So all of this stuff aside, the argument here is: are we allowed to use people's pie charts, but not their specific town and moth win ratio in regards to helping us with reads in the game, or not? Like, are we not allowed to use any of it? Are we allowed to use both? What's the deal, right? Now, historically, you've been allowed to use both. This has never been considered a violation. If you just do it, if that's your only reason for the lynch, then I don't think it's violation worthy. However, I do think that it's just generally bad gameplay, and I don't see a reason for anyone to be doing that. It doesn't really make sense to me. At most, you could, like, some people argue it's OGI, which means outside of game influence. I don't think it's OGI, and the reason I don't think it's OGI is because, well, I outlined it in one of my posts here. Why should using statistics presented to me on a player statistics page not be allowed when it comes to me playing the game? In other games and online or in real life, like, people use statistics to help them develop a strategy towards playing another team or person in the game. So why can't I do that here? I don't understand. We are allowed doing that here. So that's the end of that conversation. So let's move on to the real meat of the video, because I want to keep it as short as possible. So using town or mafia when I'm just gonna get everyone to know what I'm talking about. So we're talking about this information here. This information is well, the argument is, are we allowed using it, first of all? And right now the answer is yes. The second question, in a game, I mean. The second question is, well, should we use it? Like, how useful is this information really? And the third question is, should you use this as a sole basis for reads? Now, I'm gonna answer the third question first. So obviously not, because Mafia is not roulette as much as many people would like it to be or would make it out to be. You're supposed to read for read the game for your reads on other players, and I think it would be absolutely ludicrous to suggest that using a set of numbers presented here on a player statistics page is good enough to find out who's Mafia and who isn't. That's absolutely absolute BS. I mean, like, how I say, you can't use these numbers as a sole reason to lynch somebody or to get a read on somebody. Like, you can't do it. That's just not how it works. Anyone who suggests that is a complete idiot. I'm sorry. Like, there's no way. Okay, like, you might as well just tab out and go through statistics the whole game if you're going to do it like that. There's no way you can do this. So I'm putting that to bed right away. I do not believe that you can use these numbers as a sole reason for a lynch or for reads. And, like, anyone who suggests anything other than that is, well, I think they need to reevaluate why they believe that, and I think that they are completely misinformed on what these are actually for. Now, or misinformed on how these should be used. So let's answer the second question, which was I think it was like, how do we use these in a game or something like that. I have bad short-term memory, guys. I'm very sorry. But the meat of the video is should we? I remember now. It was should we be using these in a game, and if so, how? Okay, so now it's hard for me to kind of do this without being in a game. So I think what I'm gonna do is join a game, and we'll see what happens. Or maybe not. Ooh. Well, Lacey was the person in the thread who didn't really agree with me, so this would be kind of cool if I can do it in a game. But it's only 1 out of 9. I don't want to, take too much time in this video, so It's fine. I don't need that. So I'll try explaining it as best as I can. Basically, let's say, how do I explain this? So if you're in a game with some other people, I'll just use this game. Why not? So let's go to this game here. So I am playing with these people. I don't know if actually, just so people don't talk to me as much, let me just do this on my alternate. Or yeah, I'll just do it on my alternate, whatever. People don't recognize me that much on this account anyway. So let's just say that so I see, I don't care that much about this information. This doesn't mean a whole lot to me. Like, wins and losses are not often determined by yourself. Like, they are, but sometimes they're not, and especially in games like this and Red Heart games like just Fancy Pants, Guns and Hookers, setups like that, you're not going to get a good idea what a player can actually do through statistics when their only sample sizes in Red Hearts. So I don't really want to play this game, but how do I explain it? So if a player does something that's like really scummy, that's not good, and like they're relatively new, you can kind of use the information listed in the statistics to kind of determine whether or not it's more likely for them to be Town or Mafia. So let's look at well, this is me, but so or maybe I should just find a new player. That'll be a lot more practical, I think. Let's try this guy out. Oh, perfect example. Okay, so this person here is 41% is Town and 56% is Mafia. Okay, so this is a bit of a harder of the two. It's often a lot easier to determine when the Mafia percentage is really low and the Town percentage is very high. But so I'll use this example. So 56% is Mafia, 41% is Town. Now, so let's pretend that this player is being like kind of scummy in a game, and you can't really like, they're not really active. You don't know what's going on. Now you kind of have some information with this, so you can kind of determine that, okay, we see these statistics. We know it's probably more likely that if they're playing Townier, then they're more likely to be Mafia than they are Town, because if they were playing really Towny as Town, they wouldn't have this record. And this sample size is big enough where we can kind of deduce this information. However, we need to also check what setups they played. They played Guns and Hookers and Fancy Pants a grand total of 196 times. That's not, those aren't setups which really do much in terms of like skill. Like, you can often be losing right on the spot, or like you die night one a lot. You can like, these setups are more like roulette-ish than other setups because there's not much scum hunting involved after them by the time you get to Lilo, and that three-way Lilo, and then it's not that much you can do afterwards with reads and actual gameplay. Now, I want to very, very clearly mention that this example, when someone has a higher scum win rate than they do as Town, and like they're acting really Towny, you shouldn't it doesn't work as well when the Mafia win rate is higher and the Town win rate is lower. And this is just something you guys need to trust me on. This is from experience. I often get a lot better. Like, you need to figure out when to use the statistics and when not to use the statistics. Like, it's just so hard to explain. Here, I'll play a game of Fancy Pants. We'll see what we can do. Like, I don't know if it'll work or not, but we'll see. I might not get anything useful in this game to show you guys, but I might as well. What is this? Guns and Hookers? How the fuck do you play this? I don't even play this shit. I don't know how to fucking play. I guess it's dumb to CC here. I don't fucking remember how to play Guns and Hookers, guys. OP strat. Okay. I just want to know if I should CC cop checks, Mafian. Okay. Okay, I guess we can, but it doesn't matter. I will hook death. You have. Okay, sure, whatever. Okay. Pick the kill. Oh boy. Alright. Excellent. I'm gone. I don't think I'm gonna. Well, I guess I should have it. Okay. Gun. Yes. All right. Rainmaker and Undead. I'm just gonna play a normal game, and if I end up using these stats, you'll be able to see it. Like, the only real way to explain it is through practical examples, and I kind of want to show you guys through a practical example. If I don't get it in this video, I'll make another video of whatever game I play next, and I'll do it on my main, so you guys know that I'm like completely legit about me using it all the time. What's going on? Who's my partner? These games suck, man. Nobody talks. It's so stupid and annoying. Obviously, you're not gun, buddy. I'm gun. Alright. Who do you want me to shoot? Wait, I'm Mafia, so I don't even need to use the statistics. Fuck. Shit. Oh, well. You know what? Alright, I'm going to end the video here, guys, and I'll make a sequel the next time I join a game. And in that video, I'll show more practical use of the statistics. Before I end the video, though, what I want to say is, if the town win rate is a lot higher than the Mafia win rate, and they're doing something really towny and they're new, then yes, is definitely more likely based on the sample size that they have. Like they need a big sample size first of all, like over like 150 games. Like they need some decent setups. Like if it's all this and this, then yes, maybe it's more likely, but it's not as likely if they had like more competitive type setups. But then again, if they have more competitive type setups, they might be better at the game already. Like, so you need to consider all this when using this information. You can't just say, oh, higher town win rate, he's acting towny, he must be town. No, you need to say this person is town. You need to say this person might be town if they have a high town win rate and a low scum win rate and they're playing townier. Because playing townier is more natural than playing scummier. That's why it's better if the town win rate is higher than the scum win rate, because you have a better chance of it being like, it's more likely to be like your suspicions or your intuitions, your hypotheses, or whatever you want to call them, are more likely to be like on the right path if the town win rate's higher than the scum win rate. Because if the scum win rate's higher than the town win rate, they might just be really deceptive as Mafia, like is either alignment, right? Like they might be deceptive enough as Mafia to look like they're town, so like it's harder if the Mafia win rate is higher. If the town win rate is and then if the town win rate is lower. But if the town win rate is higher and the scum win rate is lower, you're definitely probably going to get more consistent results with your intuitions. And it might not always be right, but like I must say, like I really, really, really only like with newer players, it's a lot easier and definitely a lot more accurate, because newer players, they don't like, they're newer, right? So like they're probably more genuine in everything they do right away, because they don't. You're not going to come in. Most new players don't come in and they're automatically like geniuses in how to play as Mafia, or like they know how to deceive as town. They can read properly right away. Like they can just know how to town tell like right away as Mafia. Like they're generally like more like genuine to read. Like it's really, and honestly, guys, this is like, you can completely disagree with me here, and this is just like, I just want to be polite. Like as politely as I can possibly say, like my results speak for themselves. I'm a very successful competitive player. Like I don't mean to be boastful, but like it's just the truth. And like this is a method that I employed ever since this stuff came here. It took me a while to figure out how to use it properly first, and what worked and what didn't. And that like if the town win rate's higher than the scum win rate, it's generally more, easier to see. And sorry, 1 second. It's like stuff like this, like all those like these little niches about the stats that I told you, and like the sample sizes and stuff like that, just comes with using it over experience. I didn't get it right away, but once I figured it out, it helped me a lot in games. And remember, sometimes it's better to not use the stats, like because you don't know if they're really close together. Then you don't use them, like because you don't know, like it doesn't tell you anything. The only time it should tell you anything about a player is if it's super split over a large sample size, over like mainly like if it's really large, okay, in just Fancy Men and Guns and Hookers, okay, or if it's large over like some more competitive type setups, like stuff like this setup, or like Voltron, Cryano, I'm blanking right now, like A and D, but like those types of setups that are frequently like competitive, then you can like kind of trust it a bit more. Like that's when you should be using, and mainly for newer players, but sometimes more experienced players if it's really split. But remember, more experienced players, they can change their gameplay like by playing a bit more, right? If they haven't played in a while and they start playing a bit more, they get less rusty. They might play differently, right? So like you need to remember that too. So anyway, I hope this was instructive, and again, I will post the sequel to this video when I join a game that I can use this stuff as town. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a nice day. I would like to say that everything that I mentioned in this video should only be used in context with what people are doing in the game and what you are noticing in your read. By itself, it does not work. You need to apply you need to put two and two together. You need to apply the context with what they're doing. Like, you need the context with what they're doing with the stats for them to work. Like, you can't do it by itself. You need to read first, notice what they're doing, and see if this information helps you, if at all. I'm not saving this. Thanks. Video.